Good morning and good afternoon, ROTC Army Cadets. I'm Cadet Armstrong. I will be giving a brief on nutrition and physical training standards of the Army. Learning objectives. What is nutrition? What are the components, the aspects, and the categories that fall under nutrition? What does the Army have to say, and what are their regulations? Why is nutrition important? Why is it a key factor in human performance optimization? Why do actors, athletes, even President of the United States consider nutrition important? And how to implement proper nutrition. What does it look like in a day for a cadet, for somebody else? What are those exact numbers of macronutrients that we should be acquiring, and what are the micronutrients that we should be absorbing every day? What are the Army physical training standards? Minimums and requirements when it comes to body composition, stature, and physical performance. Why is the ACFT important? The new Army Combat Fitness Test. It'll be the record of test this coming fall of 2020. And last, I'll leave you with the challenge that you can start tomorrow. What is nutrition? It's food and its nourishment. The food part: hamburgers, fries, broccoli, soda, anything that you eat that has calories in it. And nourishment is how well you're giving your body the fuel it requires. Military Dietary Reference Intakes, or MDRI, is just a set of guidelines that recommend amounts of different nutrients. Can be very useful. ChooseMyPlate.gov is the civilian side of that DRI, which affects an MDRI a lot. MDRIs are more geared towards military personnel because they're catered to someone who has more demanding job or maybe in a harsher environment. Water is a part of nutrition. Up to 60% of the human body is water. It's recommended that the average person gets 8-ounce glasses of water, but more if you're sweating a lot or if the climate is hotter. Minerals and vitamins are a part of nutrition. Deficiencies and toxicities can compromise the body within 3 days. They affect bone structure, body chemistry, energy, and cognitive abilities. Macronutrients, those are your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. You don't need as much protein as you think. And carbs are not just muscle fuel, they're also brain fuel. And not all fats are bad because they give you long-term energy stores. Why is nutrition important? Nutrition is key to human performance optimization. Junk food is holding you back. Lay's potato chips are not helping you curl more. They're not helping you get your 2-mile down. And they're not letting you get your max amount of push-ups. Dehydration is slowing you down as well. If you cramp up in a 2-mile, it's probably because you're not drinking enough water. Nutrition is also key to fighting off colds, flus, whatever it is. Your immune system relies on your nutrition. If you're sick and you're at PT, you're probably not at performing your highest performance. And then nutrition is key because it depends on the person. Now, this is important because we still use doctrine that applies to everyone, even though those numbers are different, the percents are the same. And it's mission specific, MOS specific. A combat soldier who's relying on restrictive rations is not going to get the same amount of nutrition or even the same type of nutrition as somebody who's just at a base, not on the front lines. And it's more than just physical performance. Nutrition affects your cognitive ability. It's why your mom or your dad always said breakfast is the most important meal of the day back when you were in elementary school, because learning at school, your brain needs energy to work. And you're not going to get any food in your system until lunch. So that's why they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. The average adult brain burns 327 calories a day. That's, probably more of a healthy burger, but that could still be an entree. Maybe a chicken breast or something like that. And it's also a component to operation. It's mission specific, like I was talking about earlier. Restrictive rations That's partial. It's not that's not getting the full amount of nutrition that you require. Operation rations, it encourages more. The AR 40-25 regulation, it encourages that we change the way we think about eating food when we're on an operation, whether that's a sailor, on a boat, or a soldier on a base. It's changing the way we think about how it affects the operation. For us as cadets, it just means pushing more water, eating balanced meals, taking responsibility, even though you have more freedom to eat whatever you want. And then next, proper nutrition. Energy requirements vary depending on body type or gender, as you can see on this chart. So this is a military dietary reference intake, like I was talking about earlier. The energy, as you can see, that first general routine just means this is what it's based off of: moderate activity. So maybe you're working at an office some part of the time, but you're also working out or maybe lifting up to 80 pounds or so throughout the day. That's going to be 3,400 calories. That's quite a bit, but you'd be surprised. If your body composition that is your fat percentage is lower, you're going to burn more calories. So that just depends too with that. Women burn significantly less calories, so they don't have to eat as much. You can look at that as an effective part. But at the end of the day, all of these numbers are roughly close together. When you look at proteins and carbs and the fats, those are all measured in grams. Not so much kcalories in this sense. But you also have all your micronutrients on there: vitamins, your minerals, niacin, folate, calcium, iron, zinc, sodium. Those are all essential for making yourself perform at its highest ability. Water, they don't have water on here, I don't believe, but that's just because it's given. There's no set amount that they could just spit out and say, yep, this range is good no matter how much you're doing. They just drink a lot, especially in the military. Prepare and execute a plan. So you're not going to get any of these numbers if you just go every day not thinking twice about what you're eating. So it doesn't mean a strict meal prep like you see, or buying an expensive meal plan that ships right to your door. It just means have a rough idea of the week ahead. Do you need to go to the store, buy chicken, whatever it is? Just have an idea of where you're getting each of those. Have an idea of where you're getting each of those nutrients. And next, physical training standards. So we'll start with body composition and weight. So here you can see the maximum weight for each age group, and height. This is just for men. I couldn't fit both on here, and then the height inches on the left. So 5'9", minimum weight's 128. Minimum weight, I'd assume, just because if you're 128 pounds and you're 5'9", probably leaning on more of just bone and skin. You don't have enough muscle to lift enough, and that'll probably show in your performance when you take a PT test. And then the maximum is 175. Even if that is all muscle, you're probably not going to be as quick or mobile or agile as some of the guys that are weighing about 155, maybe even 145. 140 is probably a little light, but either way, they have those set in there for a reason based off experience. And next, muscular strength and endurance. Strength, how much weight can you lift, push, pull, whatever. A good example of this in the ACFT would be deadlift. So, the weight ranges, and it's a 3-rep max. So it's not basing it off how long can you lift that weight. It's just how much can you do. Endurance is how long can you push the weight. For example, the push-ups. That's, 2 minutes of as many push-ups as you can do. 2 minutes is a long time. That's how long you can do something. Aerobic endurance is how long can your body perform with oxygen available to the muscles. 2-mile run, perfect example of that. Explosive power, that's just quick, strong movements. Med ball throw would probably be the best example for that. Then anaerobic endurance, how long your body can exercise at a high intensity without oxygen available to the muscles. Sprint, drag, carry is the best example for that. And speed and agility, that also goes with sprint, drag, carry. You're moving side to side, quick movements, starting and stopping, and it's all time based. As you can see here on the right, those are all the standards. So heavy, significant, and moderate, those are all of the standards for the ACFT, all going down to 60 points for each thing. Leg tuck, you can see, is just one. Just one, you get 60 points like that. Of course, we should all strive for the 90 point mark. So maximum deadlift 303 times. Standing power throw 11 meters, I believe. I don't think it's feet, I'm pretty sure it's meters. So yeah, and the 2 miles is obviously going to be different because there's 6 events, but we will talk about the ACFT in a little bit. Flexibility, that's going to go with coordination and balance, whether it's deadlift or the med ball throw. Moving your body in one motion to get a maximum score. If one part of your body is off, you're not going to go as far as you might be able to throw it. Same with deadlift. If your hips move up before your back does, you're going to hurt your back and you're not going to get a good score. If your back moves up before your hips do, you're not going to get as much power. So it's all about coordinating muscle groups. In the Army Combat Fitness Test, ACFT, my favorite part about this test is the functionality that comes with it. It's simulating doing something in real life or even just real battle. Maybe it's helping a soldier over a wall. That's your standing power throw. See how he's positioned? You can just imagine, your hands are locked. You're putting your buddy's foot in your hands and launching him over the wall, helping him get over an obstacle. Dragging a soldier out of harm's way. That's important. Sprint, drag, carry right there. Just imagine instead of that weight and those bands, it's a soldier that he's carrying out. It fits modern needs. The last test was only 3 exercises: push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run. This is 6 events, and within those 6 events, each thing has its own versatile part to it. It's not just one thing that it's measuring. And for that, we needed an update, and that's what the Army did. It evolved. It evolved and anticipated that it needs to train its soldiers and evaluated soldiers on combat readiness as the enemy adapts as well. This changed our entire fitness culture in the Army. Now, we're probably more excited to take maybe a PT test. Yes, it is 6 events, it's longer, but it's different. It's more dynamic, which also increases your readiness for battle. You're better at more than one thing. Your muscle groups are trained for all sorts of things that you might encounter, and it also increases mental toughness. It's longer. The 2-mile run's going to look a whole lot different now. There's not 2 things before it. Now there's 5 events before it. So you have to anticipate that as well. And last, I'll leave you guys with a challenge to the cadets. Have discipline. When you don't want to do it, still do it. It'll help in the long run. But with that discipline, you have to prepare yourself. You have to still think. You can't just go all on discipline and persevere. After 3 weeks, it should be a habit. But whether it's going to the gym twice a day, maybe not working out intensively twice a day, but going to the gym, doing something, stretching, light cardio on your off days, persevere, get through that hump of, man, I'd rather just stay at home, at my apartment, at my dorm, whatever it is, and then apply it to tomorrow. Make a list, start it tonight, get it done. And here are my sources, and this concludes my brief.